I know it's a pretty cliche thing for a lot of people to say, "Oh, I've got the best pet in the world. My cat or my dog is the most amazing pet that's ever lived. I don't know what I would do without them." But in my case, I really feel as though that's the case. And allow me to explain. Back around 2018, I had my first cat, Phoebe. She was a long hair ragdoll. And if you don't know what a ragdoll cat is, they're basically long hair cats that whenever you pick them up, they just turn to butter. They just melt in your arms. They're extremely loved in the cat community for being very amicable and very affectionate cats. They're very easy to get along with. They're very friendly cats just all around. They're very lazy. They're very friendly just all around. And I'd had Phoebe for 17 years, over half my life, and still over half my life to this day. And we'd gotten her when she was 2. So by 2018, she was 19 years old. That's old for a cat of any breed, period. Now, a lot of cats can live well into their 20s, in case you didn't know, but 19 is still old for a cat, no matter what. And unfortunately, around September of 2018, her liver and kidneys began to shut down from natural causes. And that devastated me because we took her to the vet, and the vets told us that there was nothing they could do. Actually, to be more specific, they said that they could do basically the equivalent of emergency surgery that would roughly extend her life by a week or two at most. Basically, like a hospice surgery to make her passing not easier, but it would simply extend her life by a week or two at most. It wouldn't even necessarily make her passing easier. It would just make things easier for me in the short term. She was still going to pass away, but just not right then. And they said the most merciful thing we could do is to end her suffering. And I didn't want to. Of course, she had been my cat for over half of my life. She had been my companion for 17 years, and I didn't want to say goodbye to her, as most people wouldn't. That's a very natural thing to feel. But by that same extension, I didn't want her to suffer either. So I had to make the very difficult decision to have her put down. And it completely crushed me. It absolutely devastated me because I was already in a very bad position in my life. I was already very depressed, and losing my companion at the time was the last thing that I needed or wanted. But I didn't want to put it on her to continue suffering, of course. Like that would be wrong and cruel. So I had to make that difficult decision. And so, we had her buried, and of course I was devastated. And the following months after that, for a good 8, 9, 10 months after that, I was a shell of my former self. I was, like I said, already massively depressed. I was in a very bad place in my life, and I was basically just hollow inside, and I didn't know what to do. And of course, my family, my parents, effectively felt the same. They, in no way, shape, or form, wanted to get another cat, and wanted to basically go through that same thing again, who knows how many years later. But I had to explain to them that, I'm in this position right now mentally and emotionally to where I need someone, something to not really fill the void, but to at least be there for me, because I had no one, nothing to be there for me. And so finally they agreed, and we began the hunt for a new companion, for a new cat. And I had a dog as a kid, but I wanted another cat, and more specifically, I wanted a cat like Phoebe. And I knew that search wasn't going to be easy because ragdolls aren't particularly easy to find in the first place, let alone a very specific one if you're looking for a very specific one. But I'd already kind of decided that I didn't really want an exact replacement for Phoebe. I didn't feel like that would be right. I felt like I would just be replacing her. And if you've ever had a pet before and lost that pet, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't feel right. You don't want to just replace that pet outright. It doesn't feel right. It feels just wrong. And so I didn't want to do that. And so we began to hunt for a different kind of cat, but one that I felt would do Phoebe justice. And so I got it in my head to where I wanted a Maine Coon. And if you know what Maine Coons are, they are very big cats and very fluffy, usually very friendly cats. And we figured out very quickly that they are also not easy to find, not to mention very expensive. And so that made it even harder, especially around here in Alabama. They're just not common, and also not cheap. And so that made it even harder. But lo and behold, here locally, my mother happened to come across at the local animal shelter one that the keepers in the animal shelter didn't even know what its breed was, and it turns out that it was a half Maine Coon, half domestic long-hair mix. And I can't even remember what they had originally named her. It was something goofy and ridiculous, but she was gorgeous and very sweet. And she called me up from the local animal shelter, and she told me, she was like, look, you've got to get down here. I found this beautiful cat. You would swear that she was Phoebe's long lost daughter or something like that. And of course, hearing that, I immediately got it in my head. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And she was like, no, trust me, you need to come down here and see this cat. I picked her up, and she immediately just like melted in my arms. She's just holding on to my shoulder. She's an absolute sweetheart. And I was like, okay. So I came down there and saw her, and she really did look just like she could have been one of Phoebe's long-lost children, which, oddly enough, Phoebe did have kittens, but that was 17 years ago, and any of her kittens would have been long since grown up and, somewhere else in the world. But, so I knew it wasn't, but that's neither here nor there. But she was the spitting image of Phoebe. It was uncanny. And I picked her up and held her, and she immediately just like clung to my shoulder. And it was this weird thing where if you've ever gone looking for a pet and you have that kind of experience where you don't really know what kind of pet you want until you have that experience. It's difficult to explain, where you pick one up, be it a dog or a cat or any kind of pet, and you just feel like this instant connection to the pet, whatever it is, or it's instant. And I immediately looked at my mother and told her, I was like, we have to take her home. And so we filled out the paperwork. It was like $20. And Maine Coons, if you don't know, that's a steal. That's like 1/100th of what they normally cost. Like, Maine Coons can range up to like $2,000. It's obscene how much some of them cost. So $20 is, like I said before, she's a half breed. She's actually sitting here in the corner with me right now. But I couldn't have been happier. Is the point that I'm trying to make. She was an absolute sweetheart. She clearly wanted to be taken home, and we got her home, and she just immediately like connected to me. It was like she was meant to be my cat, and it made me so happy to kind of have that experience, because ever since then she's been attached to my hip and been the most loyal cat I could have ever possibly asked for. And for reference, this is what Phoebe looked like. This is Phoebe back when I had her. Back, say, around 2014, 2015. Here on our farm. And she was an absolute sweetheart. She was beautiful. Like I said, whenever you would pick her up, she would just immediately melt in your arms. And now keep this image in your head. This is Samus when we got her. She was 7 months old when we got her. Roughly a year later, in September of 2018. And this is basically her now. You see how close she looks to Phoebe? She bears a weirdly striking resemblance from Samus to Phoebe. Because this is Samus, who I have now, and this was Phoebe back then. It's freakish. And they're two completely different breeds. And I just thought that that was wild. And I mention all this because, as the title of the video mentions, I feel like I have one of the most sweethearted and loyal cats ever. And that's not really something you hear people say about their cats very often. Normally, you hear the word loyal mentioned with a dog, which is normal and fair. But loyal isn't something you hear mentioned very often with cats. But Samus very much is loyal. Whenever I go outside, she basically stays attached to my hip. She's almost like a guard cat. She almost acts like a guard dog. Anytime I go anywhere out on the farm, she immediately follows me outside and basically patrols with me. She goes out in front of me to kind of make sure everything's okay. She's like kind of looking around, making sure everything's okay. And I just find it to be the most precious thing ever. It's almost like she's grateful that I've brought her home with me, and that gratitude has stuck with her to this day. And honestly, I'm grateful to her for being such a good companion, because without her, I don't know where I would be now. And I mean that sincerely. And I feel like she knows that. And I feel like that gratitude is reciprocated between me and her. And I know this is like a very hokey and cheesy type of video and type of thing to say, but bear with me on it. Because, like I said before, after Phoebe passed away and I had to bury her, I was already, before that, in a pretty bad place in my life. And after that, I was a shell of my former self. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And after I found Samus, I was like a completely new person. I felt like I had a renewed sense of purpose. And I can't thank her enough for that. And under normal circumstances, I would say that I don't even know if she understands that or recognizes it, being a cat. But I feel like she does because she shows it and acknowledges it almost every day, and it really warms my heart to see that in her. To where I shit you not, where every day when say if I'm leaving for town, she'll come out into the front driveway and watch me leave, and just sit there in the driveway and watch me leave. And then when I come back, she'll still be sitting there in the driveway waiting for me to come back, like a dog, just waiting to be like, where have you been? I've been waiting for you this whole time. Like, glad you came back, so I don't know what I would have done without you. And most cats don't do that. Even outside cats don't do that. Like, they just go off and do their own thing. They have their own agenda, they have their own itinerary. Samus, on the other hand, she's very attached. She's very loyal. And it's very heartwarming to know that she's that dedicated and that loyal. And I can't be thankful enough. I can't be grateful enough to her and for her for that, because I don't know what I would do without her. And so I want to kind of showcase her doing precisely that, because I got some really sweethearted footage of her doing precisely that yesterday when me and Jacob were kind of walking outside around the farm. Because every time we go outside and do anything, she's right there with us, like trailing by our feet and going in front of us. And I find that to be the sweetest, cutest thing that a cat has ever done. And everyone that I've ever shown any of this to, or has ever seen her do this with, has said that they've never seen a cat do that. And I just find it to be the cutest thing in the world. So yeah, check this out. What are you doing? Samus, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? What's up, girl? What? What? Oh, yeah, you good girl. You follow us everywhere around here, don't you? Oh, bless you. Yeah. What was that? What was that, huh? Come here. Yeah, you good girl. You follow us everywhere. You gotta make sure we're okay. You gotta scout. She's scared. Oh, apricots falling off the tree scared the crap out of her. Bless her heart. Yeah. Oh, poor girl. Yeah. Normally she'll follow us all the way out to the edge of the farm. Yeah.
She's awesome.
Oh, poor girl.
She's afraid of apricots.
Yeah. Yeah. Bless her heart. And she's like, no! It's loud over there, fuck!
Oh, she's afraid of over there anyway.
Well, yeah, she won't go way down there. She's like, nope. Come on. I mean, you know she'll follow us.
Yeah, I mean, she'll be like, you gotta get the fuck back here now.
Yeah, because like pretty much past the hay bales is like her limit. Although
That's
she
pushing
did,
it.
yeah, and that's pushing it. Yeah, oh, poor girl. She wants to, but yeah, she'll follow us like a guard dog. But yeah, she got spooked pretty hard by the apricot tree. Oh, bless her. Oh. Samus, what are you doing? What? 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 You good girl. You can take down a hawk, but you're scared of apricots falling on the barn. Oh. I know. They're scary. They're loud. It's okay. It's not your fault. You've ruined her, you know that?
How so?
She likes you more than me now. Yeah. Oh. You still like me though, don't you? Yeah.
Not as much.
No, not as much as Jacob, but that's okay. Oh. He's got to keep a watch out. Got to post up, guard. There she is. You coming? Come on, Samus. Come on. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Have it your way. Fine. Alright. Well, maybe we'll see you in a few minutes if you decide to follow us. Alright, fine. Oh. Oh. There she is. Is she gonna come up? Maybe. I don't know. I think the apricot's really scared her.
Yeah. You throw an apricot her way didn't really help. Oh, that's what we
Yep.
she's really scarred from this forever.
I know. Bless her heart. Oh, there she is. Come on. Scope things out. Make sure it's safe now. Yeah, it's safe. What are you doing, girl? What is this? Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, you're a big sweetheart. Come on. Oh, you're not gonna follow me? My guard kitty has abandoned me. What am I gonna do? Oh my goodness. Well, hey there. Come on. You know you gotta protect me. It's your sacred duty. Yeah, no rush. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you gonna scout ahead like you normally do? Yeah. There you go. And make sure everything's safe. There you are. Yeah. Come on. It's a good girl. What? Oh, you waiting on me? Oh, okay. Come on. There you go. Come on. Yeah. You're such a good girl. Yeah, you're smart. The ever vigilant Samus. Yeah. You just gotta keep an eye out on things. Come on. You're so sweet. He's basically my kitty bodyguard. You know that, right? You know that, right? Yeah. He's a big sweetheart. Yeah. He's a big fluff. Yeah. 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 Oh, no, okay. It's like, not right now. No kisses right now. I'm scouting. I understand. It's cool. Here. Want to get up here? Good girl. Good girl. Go and secure the perimeter. Alright, you ready to go? You ready to go, girl? Yeah, come on. Yeah. Come on. You coming? Quiet. You're prissy, you know that? Oh, I see how it is. Okay, fine. Be that way. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, yeah. It's like, there you go. Yeah. Good girl. Smart girl. Yeah. I'm proud of you. Yeah. You're a big sweetheart. Oh, I know. Just ever on the alert. Like a good hunter should be. I know this is about as far as you ever like to go. You're smart that way. So come on. We can go back. Come on. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. It's fine. It's the cows. You know what cows are. Come. There you go. That's how you normally scout ahead. You know I appreciate you, girl. Even at night, you stick beside me. She even followed me all the way home. You can't really see her, but she's there. Follows me all the way back. Like a good girl. Didn't you? Yeah. There you are. Yeah. You big sweetheart. You such a good girl. There she is. Yeah. And we're back home. With a little adventure together. She loves doing that. Or she'd never admit it, because she's snooty.